Hello one and all, and welcome to Cymatic TV. Energy updates coming out tomorrow, but there's been some development on the sun and to do with 3i Atlas, the comet, that I think it's probably a good idea if I share with you. Has the sun taken out 3i Atlas? Has it destroyed it? Now, it's something I've been talking about over the last must be past sort of week, 2 weeks or so, that I think the closer it got to the sun may take a swipe at it. And sure enough, it looks that way. Let me just go in and show you. So first things first, I want to show you a clip that I did. So I do my lives on the theastroflower on Sunday night at 9 o'clock UK time, and I wanted to explain a little bit about that. So let me just bring that up now, and so here it is here. Let me just play that for you. And that our sun is also a comet going through a galaxy system, if you like, and maybe this comet is acting a little bit like a sun in a way, where the sun will give out rhythm. You only have to look at sun cycles to understand the rhythm of the sun is just phenomenal, and it is right on cue, as if it's like mechanically made. It's like a propulsion system that's gradually pulling us through the throughout the entire sort of space, as it were. Our solar system, it is also like a vessel that's going through another galaxy, and maybe 3i Atlas is just a really miniature solar system. There's, because they're talking about, there's lots of things that are attached to 3i Atlas, and so it's possible that it could be this. And when you get two solar systems, regardless of their size, interacting with one another, I think the sun is connecting to it in a way as if to sort of push it away. There's been many times when there's comets that have come in the wrong direction towards the sun, and the sun has had to do a solar flare, and it pushes the comet round the sun. And but then there is like 100, maybe 200 times a year, you have comets that go into the sun, but it always goes in the same corridor, and it's like it could well be like a mini solar system. There you go. So yeah, I was talking about how the sun could push it out. Now let's get on to what's actually been going on. So this just happened here over the past few days, over the last day, and you can see that eruption there that's coming out of the top of the sun. It's really quite a big one. It's followed by an even bigger one coming up in a minute. So that was the first one, and this is the second one coming up right here. Quite an amazing sort of, there it is there. It starts there. So it starts kicking in there, and look at the size of that. Now you can't actually see up at the top there, top right, and where it's heading to. You can't actually, that's supposed to be the Earth there, and you can't even really see it. It's like a pinprick. Just so how big is that flare that's coming off the back? Absolutely massive. It's not coming in our direction, it's coming off the back here. Let me just pull up another way of looking at this. Let's go in to see on the here it is here. So this is for just seeing things on a slightly outer view, as it were. So let's just go in and grab that. And there you go. So you can see it as well. There's that first flare that comes out the back. And then as we go on through time, you can see it filtering already, and it wants to do it again. And here it goes, there it goes there. And look how massive that is. That is some serious eruption, some serious plasma knocking out in that direction. The first eruption, which is that one there, that sort of like clears the space in front of the big eruption that comes off after it. So it gives it space so it can actually go a lot quicker in its eruptions as it goes through. So that is coming off in that sort of direction there. Now this here is just what's happening in the planets and so forth. You can see there at the top right there is 3i Atlas, and it's going in that direction. But look, that's where the Earth is. You can see that there. The Earth is, so we're looking straight at the sun, and if it's come off the back of the sun, that's the direction in which it's going in. It's quite literally going in the direction of 3i Atlas, very straight towards it, and we can see it in a multitude of different ways here. Let me just pull up this one here. So if I take this one here, for example, you can see that it's the back end of the sun, because this is the back end of the sun, because as you're going through here, there's no eruption that you can see in front of you. So 3i Atlas is where the Earth is, that little square at the top right. And as that eruption happens, it actually happens around about there. So that's the first eruption that happens. And you can see on the top left, there is a filament reaction to that. It's almost as if the force has gone right through the sun and whacked out the other side. And then we get the big eruption. And there it is there. You can't actually see anything, but if you imagine, that's like a hurricane force wind. That's a wind that's probably going at around about 2 million miles an hour, that's swiping all the plasma around the sun, and it's being pulled right out of the top there. Let me just pull it into another view here. So you can see it on this one here as well. And you can see the fact that it's on the other side of the sun. There's the first eruption there, it just went off, and there's a second one there as well, where you can see it faintly behind there, happening behind there. And so we've definitely got this, we've got this this wind that's happening, that's going right out in the direction of 3i Atlas. And it's not, as I say, it's not something that we haven't seen before. So, and I talked about it on the video, and I think this is exactly what was happening, or what was going to happen. I've been saying it for 2 or 3 weeks. Once it gets around the other side of the sun, I think the sun will give it a whack. Now, when I did do a video on 3i Atlas, where I went and visited it and find out a lot about it. You can go and have a look at that. I'll put it around my head here, be around this side, on one of the cards, to see what 3i Atlas was all about. And even at the time, I talked about it being like a possible solar system, or on miniature, or the egg of a possible solar system. Very, very small. There's obviously solar systems that are massive compared to our one. And, our ones can be massive compared to very small ones. So I've been saying this some time, that the sun may give it a whack. And during that video, this is it, during that video there, the sun told me, as I was visiting it, said, don't poke the bear. So it could either be exploding 3i Atlas, and if it is, we'll know this in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, between that sort of period, I guarantee you. And or what it's done is, it may have just pushed it around and out of the flow of other planets, so it exits the solar system in a much more orderly fashion, as it were. And this isn't the first time it's happened. It's happened multitudes of times before. Let me just show you on this one here, is this the one that's up there? No, it's not. Hang on a second. So this happened back in 2003, and as you're going to see here, there is going to be a comet that comes in at the top right here towards the sun. There it is. This is back in 2003, which I remember amazingly. At the time, I realized that the sun is a living thing, the living system of the universe, or the living system of the solar system. It's actually, this is how your antibody works. This is how your immune system works. So if you just think of it like that, this is exactly what the sun is doing here. So in the sun, you've got this exactly the same situation. It pushes out one in front, so it clears the pathway. And as that gets closer, it's getting in a dangerous trajectory. The sun releases another one, and look at that. It crushes the back end of its tail, illuminates it, and actually pushes it outwards a little bit from the trajectory that it was on normally. So it could easily be, if it hasn't destroyed 3i Atlas, it's probably changed its trajectory. And this is where we get to the idea that, is it mechanical? Well, if the sun is, if you look at solar cycles and what have you, the sun is very mechanical. And, and if our solar system went through a massive other solar system, they'd look at us and they'd look at the sun and they'd say, oh, it's being driven by a motor that's giving out pulses on a regular beat and so forth, and it's giving out gases, and its tail is not going in the right direction. And that's the same thing. The tail will be going out, and it'll be braking or slowing down by braking against the magnetic field of the sun, whether it stays or not. And that's where the sun just went, didn't it? A little explosion to sort of say, no, you're not staying here, and pushes it back out. And when it said don't poke the bear, which I did in the other video, go and see that, because you'll understand why you don't really want 3i Atlas to be, embodied within our solar system. It's not a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. Go and see that other video there. It will give you a lot of explanation about it. We've got the energy updates coming out tomorrow, and then also tomorrow on our sister channel, so the theastroflower. We've got messages from energy, and we go into the chakra sequencing, a lot more sort of woo-woo stuff, as it were, to do with the energies. But, we've got those two videos coming out tomorrow. I will see you soon. Thanking you very much for subscribing, liking, and sharing, and all of that malarkey. In the meantime, all that's left for me to say is don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.